Welcome to the new series of podcasts from Jules, who created At Balance. At Balance is a company that is designed for your well-being. We provide workshop services for groups in the community and for companies. We have 2 workshops that are available at the moment. Our Making Sense workshop is designed for young people, and these take place during the school holidays in the summer, in the autumn, and at Easter. In these workshops, these young people learn how to make perfume using essential oils, and are introduced to the concepts of the natural world and learn how the natural world is a fundamental part of our well-being and of our life. Our personal development workshops are designed to enable individuals to explore the obstacles that are blocking their potential growth. Sometimes in life, we are jogging along and going along our way, but we never reach our true potential because we have many obstacles that we don't know how to overcome. And what At Balance does is help you to learn to restructure your narrative and help you to create the plan that will make you more resilient and teach you how to overcome these obstacles. Obstacles will never go away, but it will put you in a better position to view what you need for your life journey. These sessions are available at London Bridge, and our offices are based near the station. We provide well-being sessions on Saturdays between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. If it's something you think that you'd need support with, use our contact form on our website at balanceuk.com. In our first series, we're going to be talking about stress. And what we need to begin with is, what do we understand when we speak about stress? According to Hans Seeley, who was the founding father of stress, it is the rate of wear and tear on the body. As with anything, when we use it, it diminishes. Our shoes wear down, our clothes wear out. Eventually our bodies will wear out and we will die. What Hans Seeley is actually saying is that our bodies wear and tear as we respond to day-to-day experiences. We lose a little something. What our bodies do when we respond to stress is our bodies adapt and accommodate the experience. So in order to respond in the way that is most beneficial to our well-being and our survival. Our bodies are always trying to stay alive, always trying to survive in many different ways. So in regards to stress, our bodies adapt to and accommodate in order to take care of what it needs to do in order to survive. If you didn't experience stress, you would be dead. Stress is positive and negative experiences. So if you don't have any of those, you're not living. The stress that an athlete will experience, for example, in pursuit of their goals, and the stress that an individual will experience after the loss of someone close will be the same, but will differ in the way that each body's person responds to what they're experiencing. What that would mean is stress is something that we all experience. We're not sure if it's exactly the same, but the way in which we will respond to the stresses will be different and unique to the individual. How does our body respond to stress? In order to respond to a stressful experience, the body needs something to react to. And this is what is known universally as a stressor. So a stressor can be anything that can cause a stress response. For example, you may be moving home and there's so much to do, so much to get ready, and your stressor is, how am I going to do this? You've got to plan your move, you've got to plan your van, you've got to unpack, you've got to change all your utilities, get familiar with a new area. There's so many stresses there that can impact on you when you're creating that change. Stresses are thought to cause the arousal of stress. So stressor is made up of the content of daily experiences of individuals. It may be possible that some stress events vary in intensity, and so it makes it kind of hard to measure stress precisely. There are lots and lots of tools out there and surveys and information that say, yes, we can measure stress if you answer these 10 questions and you can see how stressed you are. But in reality, stress is unique to each individual and they respond accordingly to what their body needs. So it is very hard to measure. It's not clear why stressors can have such a detrimental effect on mental and physical health. One reason for it is the way that an individual might self-report their experiences. An individual may experience a stressor and respond in a really negative way. And somebody else may think, oh, that's nothing, and may not attend to it. So the stressors are the things that we attend to. And depending on our experiences, will determine how we react to the stress. There have been 5 types of stressors that have been attributed to the negative stress response. Oh, there may be more as we learn more. The first is the emotional stressor. So this could consist of the way that we feel when we're stressed. We may respond in an anxious way. We may become scared. And as a result, it may bring out our anxiety, or it could bring out our fear. So one experience of that may be if you've got a test coming up and you're not sure how well you're going to do. And so it will bring out, on the day, it will bring out your anxieties. I wonder if I'm going to pass this. Or you may be starting a new business and you may wonder, I wonder if I'm going to get any customers. And so these sorts of stressors will bring out your fears, your innermost fears and your innermost anxieties. The second one is a social stress. This relates to an individual's relationship with the external environment. So for some people, they find it hard in the external environment. They may dislike it because they may have to interact with people, or they may have to interact with buildings. So you might find they become very nervous in that environment. It becomes a stressor. They don't like to go out. They don't like to mix. So that environment becomes a threat to them and cause them stress. Physical stress. This is more of a lifestyle issue. These can consist of lack of sleep. So if you're not sleeping well, or you don't have good sleep hygiene, you don't have good routines that prepare you to sleep, until sleep is not a natural occurring thing. It's more of a threat. It's more of, I don't sleep well. It's more of, I can only sleep for a few hours. So your body's not getting the rest that it needs. And eventually, it will wear and tear on your body because you're unable to adapt in preparation to sleep. And sleep is a vital part of our survival. But we don't eat well. That might be another physical stressor. So we're not eating well. Sometimes if we don't have enough money, or sometimes food is a comfort for us, it can have a detrimental effect on our body. And we know at the moment there's not a lot of money around, so young people and children are not eating as well as they could be eating. We don't understand very much about the foods that we need to be eating. A lot of the time, it's a takeaway or a Deliveroo, and we're not cooking and eating, getting our natural nutrients. So this disease stress can have a bad effect on the quality of a person's life. Family life is another stressor. Divorce is hard for a lot of people because when people get married, there's a lot of joy, a lot of hope, a lot of expectation, and a lot of happiness. And when that marriage breaks down and a divorce happens, that can be quite a severe stressor. That can be quite impactful on both parties, as it may feel like you failed Hope is gone. Starting again can be hard. Change is hard. A relationship breakup is another stressor. Just tied up in that, again, is hope, expectation. And when it doesn't fulfill itself, then it can be quite sad for the individuals involved. Again, it's change. If you lose a spouse, a long-term spouse, or you get married and your spouse dies early, again, that's loss. So you're going to mourn that loss. How are you going to get through this? How are you going to grieve this? Another one that's stressor is getting married. It's a nice stressor, but it can also be very stressful because you have the expectation as to, if I take this step, is it going to work out or is it going to end in divorce? So again, it's the expectation and the unknown, as in taking an exam, the unknown. You know, but there's, on the other side, it is the unknown. And we always like that reassurance of knowing. Having a child can be very stressful because you're bringing a new life into the world. What will it survive the test of time? Will I be a good parent? All sorts of anxieties creep in there at the birth of a child and having a pregnancy. Another stressor could be work. So if you're unemployed, it's an anxiety. You've got to make your ends meet. Society will view you differently if you're unemployed. You could be a bit lost. Retirement. When you finally give up work that you hated going to every day, getting up early every morning, coming home, doing the same thing day in, day out, just paying your bills, maybe going on holiday. And then all of a sudden that's gone. All your work colleagues are gone. Because people move on. We all say, oh yes, we'll stay in touch. But in reality, that doesn't always happen. And again, when you retire, you know to yourself, well, I've stopped work now. The next step will be leaving the earth, death. So that is quite a stressor. Job dissatisfaction. Yes, that can be a stressor. If you've got a micromanaging boss, there's no fulfillment in what you're doing. You're just presenting yourself at the workplace. You don't see any hope or you have no expectations of your job. So you're going to become very dissatisfied and very unhappy. And finally, job insecurity. Sometimes companies will use that as a leverage to mold people into doing what they want them to do. So if you feel insecure about something, you feel unsure, and then that will just bring out your anxiety, it'll bring out your fears. So when I first began to look at stress and become interested in stress, I used to think people that had stress were faking it. There was no such thing as stress. And the further I walked along that road, the more I began to understand it. Stress is a real thing. It's not always bad. The good we can take, we can manage, we can deal with that. But it's the bad stress that will give you the mental health problems, the life with the heart attacks, the strokes, the long-term illnesses. So we need to understand how we can manage our stress and understand and acknowledge when we're stressed and build a resilience to stress. You will never, ever, ever get rid of stress until you leave this earth. So when people say, oh yeah, you can get over it. No, you need to work with it. You need to work with stress. You can work with the good stress to achieve your goals. You need to learn to work with the bad stress. Next time, we'll look at what is stress management and why do we need to manage stress.